I've been using Samsung's Galaxy Fold 6 for the last 48 hours, but before you jump on board with Samsung's latest and greatest, there are a few things that you should really consider before buying it. Let's talk about it. So in terms of the design here, there has been a slight change. I mean, it's a little bit of a boxier design, which I definitely do appreciate, and it feels good in the hand because of that. It's just got some really hard edges to it, and honestly, it feels nice. I like the boxy design. I'm personally a big fan of that over the Fold 4 and Fold 5 and things like that. Other notable design changes here happen in the thickness department. This is only 12.1 millimeters thick, which is definitely thinner than last year, but it still does fall short of the OnePlus Open's 11.7 millimeter design. But I mean, honestly, we're splitting hairs at this point. This is a thin phone. It feels really good in the hand, and what more can I say? So right here, I have the navy version of the Fold 6, but it is also available in Silver Shadow, pink, a Samsung exclusive crafted black, and a Samsung exclusive white. So you can pick up both of those on Samsung's website. Of course, we do still have a fingerprint sensor in the lock button, and the camera modules on the back have these flashy little rings added to the design there. But I mean, really not a lot has changed. One thing that has changed with the design though is the cover screen. So with that new design, the cover screen is slightly wider. So we were at 6.2 last year, and now we're at 6.3. It's a resolution of 2376 by 968, and it definitely does make a small difference in the feel, but the verdict is still out in terms of usability. It's not a super wide aspect ratio. It makes a small difference, but whether or not you'll notice, well, that's gonna be up to you. We do still have our 10 megapixel selfie camera up top, and if we open up the device on the inside display here, we have the same 7.6-inch screen on the inside, and you know what? If the crease bothers you, it's still there, it's still visible. It's not a big deal to me. I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again. You get immersed in the content on the phone and the crease just kind of disappears. So it's really a non-issue. I will say though, back to that boxier design, it just makes this display feel so much more squared off. I really like how it presents itself, but one upgrade we do have this year are brighter displays at a full 2600 nits of brightness. It's the same size display, yes. We have the same 12 gigabytes of RAM in here. We have the same 4400 milliamp hour battery inside. On paper, there's not a lot to talk about, but let's go ahead and explore some more. So around the backside, we have, well, a very similar setup. We got 3 cameras on the back. We have a 50 megapixel wide angle camera. We have a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera and a 10 megapixel telephoto lens with that 3x optical zoom. Of course, we do have up to 8K video recording, but the camera setup here, I mean, it's pretty much the same as last year. Samsung did note that there was a new 12 megapixel sensor in the Fold 6 compared to the other 12 megapixel sensor that was in the Fold 5. I'm not really sure of how big of a difference that's going to make. I haven't personally seen anything, but honestly, the photos here speak for themselves. Everything looks absolutely phenomenal. All the photos that I took on this device, they turn out great. I mean, what more do you expect in 2024? These are flagship phones. We're getting great camera performance out of that. Obviously, we could have done with a spec bump in the megapixels or maybe some new sensors across the board, but we didn't get that. Either way, I think the camera performance here speaks for itself, and go ahead and check out the link in the description below if you want to see a full gallery of the photos that I took. So powering everything on the inside, we have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor, which is the same processor set that was carried over from the Galaxy S24 series. So we're on an even playing field in terms of that. So there's definitely increased performance with the Fold 6 here, but is it noticeable in everyday use? I mean, that's going to be a use case for each individual person, but let's go ahead and talk about the software real quick. So obviously with the 12 gigabytes of RAM and the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor, the software performance is buttery smooth. I mean, what do you expect? I'm on day 2 with this phone out of the box. It's not going to bog down, but to be honest, the Fold 5 didn't bog down in the entire year of use that I had it. So I don't expect anything to happen in terms of software performance here, any surprises or anything like that. Samsung is leveraging AI quite a lot with the S24 series and now the Fold 6 and the Flip 6. So there's a lot of little AI features to talk about. There's stuff like chat translation, interpreter mode, live call translation. We have Google's new Circle to Search, which was introduced on the Galaxy S24 series, which I honestly do think is a pretty cool feature to have on the phone, but it's not the reason to go run out and buy the Fold 6. One of the cooler new features that they did launch with the Fold 6 that in terms of the AI set of things is the new sketch to image feature. Now this is pretty cool because it does allow you to draw anything on like a photo or blank note or anything like that, and you can generate an image from that sketch using AI. It's actually pretty cool and it works very well. So you can literally draw anything you want, and you go ahead and press the generate button and wait a little bit, and it will pull together images that were generated by AI and put them in that picture. I mean, honestly, it's actually really convincing, and I had a lot of fun playing with this, but this and all the other AI features, it's just not something that I'm personally going to use every single day, so it's not really something that excites me, I guess. On top of that, it has been mentioned before that Galaxy AI stuff does come to select older Galaxy devices. I think the S23 got all of the Galaxy AI stuff that the S24 has now, so you can expect the Fold 5 to probably get some of this like sketch to image stuff. I don't know. Samsung said select older Galaxy devices or something along those lines, so you know, it's up to them. As I mentioned before, we do have a 4,400 milliamp hour battery inside of the Fold 6, which is the exact same capacity that was inside of the Fold 5. So don't expect any performance increases in terms of battery life as far as that goes. I mean, I haven't really noticed a perceivable difference in battery life coming from the Fold 5 to the Fold 6. It's pretty much the same. Getting 5 to 6 hours of screen on time is kind of the norm nowadays, so I really don't think that we'll deviate from that too much with this launch, but be sure to subscribe and go ahead and turn on notifications so you can be notified when I drop my long-term review of the Fold 6 in the future. So at the end of the day, what is the deal with the Fold 6? I mean, I've been using it for a couple of days, like I said, and I think that if you have to examine this with a magnifying glass to find features that you're excited about, this phone might not be for you because like I said, this is a refinement this year. We're not getting anything major, though I do think that the design changes are ones that I favor personally over last year's release. I don't think that there are a lot of people that are going to be running out to upgrade year over from the Fold 5 to the Fold 6. The Galaxy AI stuff is cool, but as I said, it's nothing that's going to personally change my life, and I think our expectations when it comes to like the upgrade culture is kind of toxic, to be honest. We always expect like something revolutionary and groundbreaking, but at the end of the day, we got to refine things to get there. Now, that being said, the Fold 6 is $100 more than the Fold 5 was. Now, are there $100 more worth of changes here? Obviously, that's going to be a subjective matter, but I think the Fold 6 is a great phone. And like I said, if you have to really hardcore look at this to find something to be excited about, this might not be for you. Samsung is building a category of foldables. They have built the category of foldables, and they're going after refinements and making the category as best and as strong as it can be. And that isn't really favorable for everybody that's expecting like something that just blows your mind every single year. But I think this is a good phone. Is it something to run out and upgrade to? Probably not, but I think that if you're getting into foldables or you've been eyeing the Fold series for a while, this is the time to jump in.